damn it. I had a Halloween Town pun.
Did you?
But it's gone now. Welcome to Books and Bullshit.
And now Layla's deaf. What the fuck?
I always forget she's wearing headphones, and my lovely chords from the heavens are being piped directly into her cerebellum.
Yeah.
I think Layla just pissed herself.
Well, her eardrums just exploded.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. So, welcome back. You guys know what month this fucking is. This is the best month in the whole goddamn year.
It's Halloween month.
Yes. The best holiday ever invented. Ever.
Jizz.
Did you say jizz or
jizz?
Jizz. Is that like sploosh? Because I get it, Martina. Halloween's pretty fucking awesome. But please don't jizz on my couch.
I probably wouldn't be the first.
Especially right where you're sitting.
Exactly.
That's where the return is.
I literally thought you were going to say you would be the first.
Martina, how often are you jizzing on my couch? People sleep there sometimes. Are you jizzing on them too? Because that's kind of fucking rude. Is that why we're waking up with bed hair? Martina's running around jizzing on us in our sleep.
Dude, you are the one who can't stop putting your dick on things.
But I'm not jizzing on it because I'm a gentleman.
That we know of.
I'm the Gentleman Jizzer. Which sounds like a weird kind of like
sounds
bar.
like your escort name.
Yeah. Ah. So you fancy me, huh? The Gentleman Jizzer. Nah.
That's what it says on his cards. Zachary Chopchinsky.
We're going to get rid of Dapper as fuck and put Gentleman Jizzer. It smells like tobacco and brandy, which I think you need to see somebody about. Because I don't think that's healthy. You're coming smoke.
It's because you keep doing that jackhammer move.
Your penis is exasperated. Oh my god, that's not good for your sperm count.
Maybe was it? Are you the patient whose penis we're scanning next week, who believes he has quote unquote a masturbatory injury?
There's a patient that thinks they have a masturbatory injury?
Yes. So our new tech, she used to be our CT tech, and now they've moved her over to MRI. Her very first day by herself, she has to do a penis MRI. And in the comments, it said, patient believes it is a masturbatory injury. I was like, what the fuck was he doing?
Pull too hard to the left.
I guess so. Was it you, Zach?
No.
I don't know. You answered really quickly. Have you also had a masturbatory injury?
No, but I've punched myself in the nuts a few times, so I get it.
Wait, what?
And I have what?
Like a full on?
And I've torn my corn. Did you say you tore your corn?
Well, tore your groin is not an easy thing to say, actually.
Tore your groin. Try saying that 5 times fast.
You did that lifting weights though, didn't you?
At least that's what he told Layla.
I re-injured it lifting weights. I got that guy caught my leg and kicked me in my inner thigh.
I went to the doctor with you. I remember that.
Wait, a guy caught your leg and kicked you?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Ohio State Championship.
He caught your leg.
So I went to kick him in the side of the head, and he caught my leg and locked my knee, and then he went to sweep my other leg, but his foot came up too high, and he ended up driving his heel into the inside of my thigh and upper and lower groin, which then tore my groin.
Did you cry?
I don't know, but he swept the knee, Johnny. It wasn't
I was gonna
fucking
say this,
sucked.
I was like, I didn't see this episode.
Yeah.
What the
I couldn't
fuck?
crane kick his ass or nothing. I was down.
Oh, I bet. I would imagine you dropped like a
He
stone.
broke my dick.
Is that what you screamed as you grabbed your jug and just fell to the floor?
That cup didn't stop shit.
You're a liar.
Athletic supporter. What the fuck is it supporting? A target zone for him to kick me in the side dick? Shaft. Just shaft. He shafted me.
I guess it's better than you shafting him. It's so fucking hot in here.
That's my joke. Did you snort a little?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You scared me for a second because I opened my eyes and you didn't have glasses on. I'm like, ah! Where's Martina?
Fuck you.
Where did Martina go? Who are you?
The sight of me without glasses was so horrifying that you thought you were gonna scream a little. Fuck you, Zach.
Like Clark Kent and Superman.
Fuck you.
I did recognize you. I thought stranger danger, maybe. Where's Harvey Dent? All right, what the fuck are we talking about? Halloween. Our favorite Halloween stories. So, there's a lot of them. I mean, fucking Halloween is dope-ass dope to the most dope.
So, do you have any Halloween stories that
From
aren't sad
Ohio.
and tragic?
That aren't sad and tragic?
Well, your childhood wasn't exactly fucking happy.
I remember one time when I was a little kid, I wanted to go as Aladdin, which meant running around shirtless wearing a vest to me.
All right. Did you have the little puffy pants too, or were you just running around in a vest with no shirt on?
I was wearing khakis.
Were you wearing assless chaps?
I was wearing khakis. I think I was like 7 or 8.
I was gonna say, because this gets creepier depending on what.
Wait, how old were you?
Like 7 or 8.
So you're wearing khakis and a vest with no shirt.
Well, that was the problem. Is my grandmother wouldn't let me wear the vest without a shirt because she said it was too cold. I think she was concerned with pederasts.
And what did the vest look like? Is it like one of the vests you have now, or was it more festive?
I don't remember.
Was it a vestive?
It definitely wasn't the correct vestment. So I ended up wearing a shirt with this weird vest and khakis and a cowboy hat.
Wait! That time I did snort. What do you mean?
I looked like such a hot mess. The woman giving out whole candy bars fucked me over with the party size.
He's like Cal Aladdin.
Aladdin, y'all. I don't know. Aladdin.
Now all of a sudden he's a manager at Tractor Supply.
That sucked. There was also another time where I was like 18 and I had this full body like gorilla suit. I was visiting my grandmother and I'm at her house. No, actually I was 16. I was younger. And so I put on this full body gorilla suit because when the high school let out, like all the kids, or she's right by high school, so all the kids walked up the street and I posed in the front lawn with my arms out and fucking waited. And sure as shit, there were kids that were coming up and taking pictures with me, and I would wait until they like got it there and like their friend take out a cell phone, and I'd fucking grab them and hold on for dear life and scare the shit out of them. Totes worth it.
Until you go to jail.
I was a kid too.
How kid?
I was 16. They were teenagers. We were all in high school.
So you were grabbing other teenagers. That's fair.
Yeah. It's not as bad if a teenager's killing another teenager. It's only interesting when an adult's doing it.
I do remember that when I was 11, my parents let me go to a Girl Scout Halloween party. No, my 4-H Halloween party as a fucking prostitute.
Wait. Fucking, you're talking about adjective, not verb, right? You weren't like mid-coitus child prostitute, were you?
No, besides, there was only girls there. But still, which is probably why my parents were just like, I'll let her wear whatever she wants, because there's just a bunch of girls running around in my friend's yard.
What the hell? Who'd you go as? My name's Candy? Like, what the fuck was that?
No, I was like, I want to wear like fishnets, and I want to wear a short leather skirt, and I want to wear this shirt that's like off the shoulder. And my sister was like, seriously, she wants to go as a prostitute. And my mom was like, whatever. Like, my mom just didn't fucking care.
As long as she's happy.
Well, the only picture I have of me from Halloween as a kid, I don't know if I've ever showed you this picture. It's on my Facebook page. I'm dressed as a quote unquote bride. And it's like me in this very 70s lace dress with this giant lace veil and the ugliest Buster Brown corrective shoes because my legs were all jacked up when I was a kid. And
Mama said these are my special shoes.
No, that's exactly what it is. Like my feet were literally facing each other when I was born.
Okay, clip clop, continue.
So, and in this picture, I am so proud of this fucking costume. And my mom made it from our curtains like she was Scarlett fucking O'Hara. She literally couldn't afford a costume, so she made it for me out of our curtains.
Wow.
Yeah, she was talented.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I never once made any of Makota's costumes because I can't sew for shit.
Probably the most traumatizing Halloween thing I did is there was this haunted house. Note the air quotes. Haunted bullshit. And it was called A Trip to Hell.
Oh.
Until you realized that the whole thing, like as you walked through the woods and there were different scenes, and there was like one where like there was like a car accident and the kid was drinking and he ran over another kid, and then there's another one.
Dude, is this one of the ones run by the church?
Yeah.
Oh, they call them Hell House.
Yeah.
Yeah, these fucking psychos.
That fucked me up so bad.
There's a whole documentary on these hell houses and it is the hokiest shit. Like, these people, like the girl in the documentary is super stoked because she gets to play the girl who had an abortion in like her 8th month. Like, it's so dumb. And she goes home, she's like, Dad, I got the part. He's like, well, she's real proud. It's just
She's
like,
real
oh my
proud.
fucking God, what is happening here? It's actually totally worth it.
But
just
here's
to
the
make fun
thing:
of it.
is we went to the first year, and it's been a year ever since. It's been there ever since. It goes. It's
Oh
at the
yeah,
same
no, it's
spot.
every single year.
And the crazy thing is, the first year, I remember they didn't. It was sold as like a haunted, like scary thing. Nobody knew that, and we were there first night, and we're going through it, and we're like, "What the fuck?" There was even one kid who like girlfriend broke up with him, and he kills himself. So he takes a revolver, puts it up to his head, and the lights around him go out, and then you hear a real live gunshot because it was shooting blanks, and you see the muzzle flash. And then the lights turn back on, and there's like blood spatter on the wall and shit now. And then and then like the last one is all these kids that had killed themselves are being tortured by people dressed as demons in hell. And then you walk through these doors, and there's a heaven door, a hell door, and a question mark door. And the question mark door took you to a room where there were priests, and because you didn't know if you were going to heaven or hell, and they would counsel
and then they
you
would
to
try
the
to
church.
counsel you to the church. Yep, and that still goes on. It's still happening.
It's so fucked up, though.
Oh yeah, and these people, they have these meetings and they're just like, all right, guys, we got to get creative. What do you got? What do you got? Tell us something scary. Like, and they'll like shame you when you come up with an idea that they don't think is horrific enough. I'm like, this is fucking intense.
What about a church where the clergy doesn't molest children?
Get out of here.
You keep your shit to yourself, John.
You mind your own business.
So I think that was one of the more fucked up things that ever happened to me on Halloween. I remember one of the funnest Halloweens I think I ever had. There's a couple. A lot of the ones in Maine that we used to do. We used to go to awesome haunted hayrides and shit were amazing. But I remember one time I got to go trick-or-treating with my family on the island. And that was a good time. We drove around in the island in a van with the van hatchback popped open, and we're all sitting with our legs hanging out of the back of the van, just driving 5 miles an hour from house to house, hopping out, running up, getting candy, jumping back in. It was great.
I don't know. I never really liked Halloween. Like, I never liked trick-or-treating. I liked Halloween, obviously, but I was never one for trick-or-treating. It's not fun to find costumes when you're a fat kid. Like, because you never get the good costumes. But when Mick was little, I used to love to take her trick-or-treating because I could live out all of my fantasies and dress her up any way I wanted until she got old enough to have an opinion. But until then,
How rude of her.
I could do whatever I wanted. And she was like a zombie cheerleader one year. And though I would say when she's 3, from 3, 4, and 5, she went as fucking Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz every fucking year. She was obsessed with Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And she wanted to be nothing else and would literally have a meltdown if you tried to make her wear a different costume. She was so fucking cute.
That was her jam, yo.
When she was 2, she was like a little fairy princess and her little feet. She was so cute. Oh, she's still cute, but now it's not as much fun to dress her up. Though she will let me.
Just not as much fun.
Yeah, because you know.
And nowadays, everything for like now makes an adult. All the adult costumes are slutty this.
Well,
or
even
slutty
the
that.
preteen costumes are really skanky. And I mean, I'm not trying to slut shame, and girls can wear whatever they want, but I just feel like there's so many fucking creeps out there. And I know we shouldn't care, like, it should be their responsibility, but your kids still have to survive out there. And, like, putting these kids in these costumes just seems like fucking, I don't know. It makes me nervous. But they really should cover up a little bit, because it's just, well, especially in Florida, there's too many mosquitoes.
So when I was at the college, there was a Halloween party every night. It's a huge bash when I was doing safety there. And these girls, so before I got there, because Layla knows I used to go in at nights and help with emergency responses. She's eating a chihuahua.
That was her Halloween costume one year.
So before I got there was the party, like the dance. And then I show up after the dance to go around with like the security director, and we would respond to like emergency health calls, like, oh, my friend passed out, fell down, shit like that. And he and I would respond to the medical calls. Apparently, some girls went there to the dance. There were 3 girls, and they wore caution crime scene tape as their costume.
Oh my God.
And what they did is they stood there with their hands in the air while one friend just walked around and around and around them, just wrapping them up.
So one slip and the whole thing's coming
So,
So somebody passed out.
within a minute of the party of the dance, the official school dance starting, some dude came up and yanked on the back of one of them. And then her whole dress fell off, and she's naked as a jaybird, apparently. And so then immediately the other 2 girls, somebody ripped the strip on theirs and all their dresses. So you had 3 bare-ass girls running around this dance.
assault.
Yeah, 100%.
Sexual assault.
Oh, I know. Oh, no, the 2 guys that did it were expelled. But yeah, and it's just like, oh, God damn it. So, like, every year, like, they now had to have, because it's a private Catholic college, you're gonna have some weird shit go down there.
True. Very true.
I mean, you know. All right, so what other favorite Halloween stories? I mean,
Just in general, like, I mean, anything weird ever happen on Halloween or I mean, it's Ohio. I'm sure some weird shit went down on Halloween.
usually, yes. No, but actually the weirdest shit that ever happened to us happened in Maine. And we used to go to all these haunted hayrides and stuff because that's like a big thing in Maine, and they're done really well. And there's one that used to be called the Gauntlet. And the Gauntlet was done in this big farm. And it was an apple farm and a dairy farm and a corn farm, and it was just massive estate, like hundreds of acres. And so they would every year for the month of October, they would open up their farm to like these haunted hay rides, and they would do it to the nines, like professional shit. Like dudes that were rednecks that were shooting shotguns that had blanks in them, but it looked and sounded like real gunfire in the whole nine, like really get you.
Well, and it would drop you off at the...
Yeah, so, well, aww.
I found it.
So you would go through, like, you would start on the hayride and you go through the woods, and there's one point where you're sitting on this big flatbed of this truck, and there's like 30 people on it, and everybody's around the perimeter with their legs hanging off, and then it breaks down in the middle of the woods, you know, and you get that, like, all right, who's coming out of the fucking woods at me? And then while we're sitting there and you're peering in the woods, people rappelled down from the trees above you and then fucking grabbed you and then tried to go back up into the trees with, like, this climbing equipment with you. And you're like screaming and fighting and the whole nine. And so they're driving you through that. And then they stop at this corn maze and you get out. And it is like you see in like a Midwestern movie, like giant cornfield. And you're trying to get to the cornfield with people chasing you and giant monsters.
That's
Yeah.
a negative Ghost Rider.
It's crazy. The reason why, so I loved it, right? It's so much fun. And then you get like cider from them and it's fantastic.
Oh, do they have the cider donuts?
Actually, they did.
Fucking love those things, man.
Well, because it was an orchard as well. So when you get
Yeah, they
their,
make those cider donuts.
yeah, they had their own cider donuts. They had their own apple cider, and then they had like candied apples and caramel apples. It was amazing. But the next year we got married, and we were gonna go there after we got back. But we found out the next year, as one of the first tractors is going through the woods, hadn't been inspected in years, and the accelerator stuck, and it went full speed driving into the woods doing 35 and hit a tree and launched everybody off the back and killed like 4 teenagers as they crashed into different trees instantly.
The farm had to shut down because they didn't have insurance.
Yeah, they didn't have insurance for this event. They've been doing it for years and never thought they needed event insurance.
Christ.
So
The
the
entire farm shut down.
yeah, so the family basically took everything. And so, I mean, that's like the craziest shit ever because it's like that could have easily, because we went to that thing, that could have easily been us. So just like, you know, hindsight is nuts.
Yeah, that's kind of like we have in the Heights where I used to live with Melissa. There's this huge haunted house that's been going on out there for years, and it's called Clowns, KLOWNS, no Z.
I was going to say, is it an S or a Z?
It's a Z, but they've
It's
been
run
doing
by
this for
juggalos,
years.
and
Well, they've been doing this for years, and they donate all the proceeds to charity, and I mean they go fucking all out, and it's terrifying. These clowns are not fucking around, but I always worry because Michaela says like last year, like it was so bad, like Jordan got like to a point where she was just like yelling at them back because she was so terrified. She was like fight or flight. She was just like, maybe if I scream at them, they'll get scared. But Michaela was crying. It was bad. But you like, it's like, oh, you're going into an elevator and then they like make it shake and then it like opens up into the haunted house. But all of the stuff she was telling me, I'm just like, my God, the liability insurance on this must be bananas. They have people who wait in that line for hours. 5-6 hours. They don't care. Like, it's such a huge thing in Jupiter and in the Heights. Like, it's just a staple, but I've never gone anywhere near that street. Like, nope. Fuck them, fuck the clowns, fuck charity, whatever. I ain't going there.
Well, what's the one
I
out
don't
in
fuck with
California?
Oh, that one where you have to sign a waiver?
So you sign, yeah. There's a 5 or 6 year wait. They only do 2 people a month. You sign a waiver for it, and then you have to go through all these interview processes before you get there. And then when you get there, and then when it's time for you to like go, whatever, you don't know that you've been approved until they fucking kidnap you, real life style. Like you're walking down the street, bag over the head, into the back of a van. They take you to this haunted house. It lasts 8 hours. Nobody has ever made it through. There's no safe word. They decide when you've been broken. And
if they kill you, they have no liability.
no, because it is an ironclad packet that you sign for liability's sake. And here's the crazy part, is they're full touch and full sensation.
They can make you basically eat shit till you vomit. They can force you to eat anything they want. They can touch you. They can torture you. They can beat you. They can strangle you. They can do whatever they want. They can lock you up. They can bury you alive.
The first thing you do, man or woman, if you come in there with any hair, is they take out a big Bowie knife and shave your head. First thing. So if you're a woman and you've got long hair, whatever, the first thing they do is shave your fucking head. Violently. Like, people come out with, like, cuts all over their head and shit because they're fucking holding you down and just shh. There are people that have been interviewed and, like, what they did to him. There was one guy who they put him in this glass container, like tank or whatever, and there was this mesh grating at the top, and they filled it up with water to where just his fingers, like, through the mesh, and, like, if he pursed his lips, like, his mouth would just be out of the water, and they walked away. He eventually got so exhausted that he passed out and sank to the bottom, and they had to revive him. There was another guy that they threw his ass in a coffin, and they said, don't move. And they threw tarantulas, black widows, and 2 rattlesnakes alive in the coffin with him, closed the lid, dropped them down, and buried him 6 feet under with a small hose for air for hours. There's people that they made eat raw sewage. Like,
oh, yeah, I know.
Opened up a sewage line.
That's a big fucking negatory. No fucking way.
And there have been people that get so fucked up from this,
you.
they've tried to sue after the fact, and they can't because it is such an ironclad packet.
You're literally paying somebody for a lifetime of PTSD.
Here's the fun part, is all the people that are the scare actors are volunteers, and they don't go through any background checks or screening to do what they do.
And just for a second, picture the kind of person you have to be to volunteer your time to torture others.
And the third creepy part about it is 100% free, and they don't pay the workers, so how are they getting the money for it?
I don't know. It's like
it's some Belko experiment shit.
Yeah,
man.
it's just the most horrific thing to me, and I also question the sanity of anybody who would sign up for it. To be honest, like
you don't even know who organizes it, because one woman, they all were talking about this. One woman came out and she was saying the last interview, when they make sure that you're ready for it, you get a Skype interview. And it's a person who, like, you see the background, which is like a nondescript, like industrial type background, and their whole silhouette is blacked out, and their voice is morphed to like that mechanical sounding thing. And they ask you psychological screening questions to make sure that you're okay with it. And when you go through 2 at a time, and you do not know your partner. So you're 2 strangers going through this together. So you know what I mean. So you don't
And you fight back.
Nope. Well,
yeah. I mean, I imagine you probably could put up a fight.
They tell you, but here's the thing: is there have been people that have said that when everything went off, they started swinging. There was a guy they fucking cattle prodded into submission and then tortured him for like 4 hours. They can use
literally anything they want on you. Mm-hmm. And I imagine if you fight back, it's only going to be worse for you because they outnumber you.
Unless you're. There was even a guy that started this whole thing, is they really tested how good it was, and there was group of 2 guys that went through together, and they were 2 guys from the same special forces unit. They were SEALs, and they made it through 6 hours, and they were done. They even couldn't get through it.
But I do remember they did an experiment with the SEALs where they took 2 women and 2 Navy SEALs, and they put them through this really rigorous course. And the SEALs tapped out before the 2 women. And they said it didn't have anything to do with strength. It had to do with endurance. And my mother was so proud of that. I don't know why, but she always thought that was the best thing ever, is that two women basically outlasted these two Navy SEALs. It's just like, that's just because women are tougher than men.
Well, we're biologically made to be tougher because we have to have babies.
Yeah, exactly. If you can deal with pain, that's essentially like every bone in your body being broken at one time. Or as I like to call it, periods. No.
As you like to call them. Everybody else calls them menses. Martina calls it a period.
Like the end of a sentence.
With a little red dot.
I don't know why that was funny. So... Nothing is funnier to me than when Layla starts miming the time to us. Because somehow, even though it's a very simple thing,
7.
I try to do like math and it just never works out well for me.
Yeah. Did it now? I mean.
Did it now? Did it now?
Dang, 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 dang.
What?
Did our readers in our group have anything to say? Or our listeners, not our fucking readers. I'm drunk.
Well, I would like to think that some of our listeners do read our books. If not, could you? Because every little bit helps. All right. Okay, you need to talk while I find this.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were ready for this shit.
Well, I was, but then I tried to find that picture of me as a kid so you could see how truly...
There's one thing that we got to look for, but I do not think they're doing it this year. But there's one really cool October show that they only did in Octobers for a couple of years, which is called Hellevator.
Sorry, Elevator.
It really was only good for the first season.
I know the second season got chintzy, but no, it really was. It was like basically people signed up and they were in this elevator that took them to multiple levels, and each level had all these horrors and things and like gory puzzles
Horrors?
to solve. Yeah, probably some horrors. But it was really, really interesting, and you had to get through, and then you could win like $20,000. It was pretty cool. But it was only for the month of October, and they did it for a couple of years.
All right, I have found our listeners. All 8 of them.
All 8 of our listeners, we appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for making an effort.
There's Jane, Jim, Jimmy Bob, John Boy. Appreciate you guys.
All right, so Jennifer Zamboni, who has the
No
best
relation
name ever.
to the Zamboni inventor.
You don't know that.
That's true, I don't.
She might be sitting on the Zamboni fortune.
The secret long-lost Zamboni fortune.
The secret Zamboni sounds like some sort of magician.
It's either a magician, the people that invented that machine for ice rinks, or it's a pasta.
All right, so she says, I'm pretty boring. All right. I grew up in a church.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on. She says, I grew up in a church that forbade the celebration of Halloween, though to their credit, they did teach an accurate history behind it. I never got to go trick-or-treating, but now I have my own tiny tornadoes, so you bet your ass I take them and dress up most of the time. I was very confused at first. I was like, she has tiny tornadoes.
Well,
She is the Great Zamboni.
the Great Zamboni. Well, the funny thing is she's thinking tiny tornadoes. I'm like, there aren't tornadoes in Maine. What the fuck?
She talks about her kids all the time, and that's what she calls them. I did not know this.
I'm drunk most
All
of
right,
the time.
so Rowena, a.k.a. Rebecca, says, I remember trick-or-treat as a kid always being awesome. People would turn their garages into haunted houses. There would be entire block parties, and it would go on late into the night. 10 p.m. crying face. Now when I take my kids, the town allows 1 hour for trick-or-treating, and no one goes out anymore. Maybe I should relocate to a more festive place. Yeah, you should.
You know what's interesting is, real quick on a side note of that, so Mount Dora doesn't do shit for Halloween. And Chrissy, I was talking to her a few weeks ago, and I was like, why we capitalize on like all the holidays and the festivals and stuff. Why don't we do anything for Halloween? And she was like, I've been saying we should do big like Halloween parades and everything here for years because Mount Dora would be the fucking place to do it.
But even just shutting downtown like down and like having like a huge, like even a festival, like a fall festival where people could. Like,
well, next year, because it's on a Saturday, I'm going to talk to Chrissy and be like, next year we should coordinate something like that because it's on a Saturday, like a Saturday night Halloween fest. Are you kidding me?
that'd be so fun.
That'd be fucking baller.
I want like a fall festival where you get like there's like a pumpkin patch and you get like cider and you get to like wander around.
We do have a fall festival here, I believe.
That sounds fun. I want to do that. Not that the Halloween festival doesn't sound cool too, because I want to do that too.
That's
But
true.
fall in particular sounds fun. Okay, I have so many dogs. Like, I look like a dead body. Like, I'm so awkwardly laying right now because my leg is like thrown over 3 dogs. No, 2 dogs. Your dog is over there. Your other dog. Okay, anyway. Kennedy. Ken's.
KT.
KT. KZ. Whatever she likes
LMNOP.
She says, not necessarily Halloween-y, but my mom grew up in a haunted house just outside of McLuth, Kansas. There was a ghost of a little girl named Rebecca in the house. She wasn't a fan of my Uncle Troy. That's kind of funny. Just him in particular. Fuck Uncle Troy. No. So she dropped a batch of sealing on him and also pinned him to the wall with a vanity mirror. Damn, she really did like Troy. Did we find out
Uncle
whether
Troy
Troy
kill
killed her? My family eventually brought a medium into the house, and she said there were actually 4 ghosts there, Rebecca and 3 male spirits. Well, I guess we know why she doesn't like fucking men. There's too much that happened for me to type out all of the ghostly encounters, but yeah.
Please have her.
Have her submit one of
Yeah,
our, yes.
dude. Like, I'm hoping she's listening. Why don't you ever submit this shit to Books of Bullshit?
Yeah, you guys, if you're listening to this right now, like, send us email. We love telling your guys' stories. Fucking, we haven't gotten shit in a long ass time. Send us stuff.
We're tired of telling our own stories.
God, we're not this entertaining all the goddamn time. Do you have any idea how exhausting this shit is?
Also, I just wanted on the record that I have to pee so bad. Anyway.
Don't pee on the couch. You already jizzed on it. You said it, not me.
Anyway, moving on. Catherine. Okay, not that crazy, but funny. I think I was in the 9th grade or maybe 10th. I was hanging out with my 2 best friends walking to one of their homes, not comes. Wowzers. Okay, that's just a typo. That was not me, just for the record. One of their homes. I'm like, wait, what? I was trying to work out the sentence, like, because it didn't make any sense.
Trying to work out the cum. Go ahead.
I was hanging out with my 2 best friends, walking to one of their homes, when all of a sudden there was a drive-by egging. I saw that in Glee. Not much time for evasive maneuvers. The eggs came almost like in a slow motion, and all except one made contact with, I forget which one of us. That egg bounced and cracked on the floor. Sheer luck or divine intervention. Why did you not write this story to Books of Bullshit? You people are really dropping the ball. I don't know if we need better audience members.
Yeah, you guys need to get your shit together.
Come on, we can't do all the work. Help us entertain other people.
Help us entertain you.
Please help us.
Just help us.
You don't know how long this takes. Sarah Fitzgerald Wallace.
My eyes were closed, rubbed my eyes, and I feel something like touching me, and I thought it was a dog. I'm like, Loki, stop.
I know. I'm like, why are you fisting me?
Oh Jesus! Now I feel like I'm interrupting something.
Stop that! Ew! Never touch me again, you freak.
Sorry, I fingered Martina.
Gets better a finger than a fist, you fucking weirdo.
Finger fisted fucker.
Zach's drag me.
Finger fist and fucker.
He's very popular. Okay. So, all right. So, Sarah Fitzgerald Wallace. You have too many names.
What the hell?
Very fancy, though. When I was about 9, my mom's best friend, who I called Auntie K and Unc J. Wait. Oh, the mom's best friend was Auntie K. I'm assuming Unc J was her husband. Because I would assume there should have been an S after friends.
Unc J.
Also, that's really hard to say. They became... Anyway, moving on. They became caretakers of an old private cemetery. What the fuck? This shit never happens to us.
I want to be a fucking caretaker of a goddamn cemetery.
And moved into a funeral home mortuary that went with it. Damn it! I want to do that.
Well, hold up. Let's see, I'm okay with taking care of the cemetery.
Did you just remix yourself? What the fuck was that?
I am not moving into a goddamn mortuary. Have you ever seen Dead Silence? Fuck that noise.
Pussy.
Bitch. Basic white bitch that dies first.
Fine, you can live in the cemetery. Layla and I will live in the mortuary.
I ain't living in any of that shit.
That's what you think. You might be dying in it if you don't man up. woman up.
I ain't investigating shit for noises.
All right, so they're living in a mortuary and they're taking care of an old cemetery. I'm totally digging this. Because I've always been able to see and speak to ghosts, I was so excited. I imagine that you would be. Come October, I'm assuming that's not anybody's name, I had been begging my parents to allow me to sleep there for months. I finally wore them down about a week before Halloween, so we all decided that I could...
Because that's when you want to let your kids fucking sleep at a graveyard.
Okay, it's also a fucking house. Do you want to read this?
Continue.
A week before Halloween, I finally wore them down about a week before Halloween, so we all decided that I could stay there if, capital letters, I forgo going out trick-or-treating that year. And of course I said, yes, yes, yes. All right, we're really excited. Well, that night came and was super excited. I really was super excited. And got there in morning and walked all over just to get a feel of everything, and my body was tingling with energy. I feel like maybe Layla should be reading this.
I know, right? This is, we be reading this for Patreon?
That afternoon,
Tingling with
I took
energy.
a nap, so I was prepped for the night. God
damn.
Sarah!
Where's this going?
I know, and it's two separate paragraphs.
Casper and one of his uncles Eiffel Towered me.
Yeah. After dinner, I was given a tour of the mortuary and crematorium.
Crematorium.
Terrible name for a fucking strip club.
Best fucking name ever. The
It's a goth strip club.
It's all gothic dudes that are tatted and pierced. Called the crematorium.
I mean, I'd go. She said she was surprised that there was no spiritual energy at all. That it all burned up. Next paragraph.
Sexual energy.
Yeah. Later that night, after they had gone to bed, I got dressed and walked out to the cemetery. You're a creepy child. I dig it. Soon as I hit the border, the cemetery border, I was like, wait.
How far south did you go?
How fucking far away from the house is a cemetery? As soon as I hit the border, I was so overwhelmed, I had an instant headache. God, I hope that's not why I get headaches. I screamed at them all to stop or they would do me harm, and to have patience, I would try to talk to all of them. Needless to say, I found a comfortable headstone to sit and rest against and listened to so many fascinating stories for hours. The next morning, my aunt found me fast asleep out there and promised not to tell my mom. She took that secret to heart, and as far as I knew, my mom never knew about my overnight visit. ...
Plot bunny.
Exactly. And that's it. That's everybody's stories.
Wow, we ended with a mildly erotic one.
I know, it was both ghostly and porny.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was titillating.
It was postly. Gorny.
Gorny. That just sounds like the name of that dude from that fucking Natalie Portman movie.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that movie, Where the Heart Is or whatever? Yeah. And his name was Forney.
Yeah.
Forney. Everybody in that movie had fucking weird ass names. Her name was Novalee Nation. And she named her kid Americus.
What?
Where the Heart Is. It's about.
You don't remember the girl who had the baby in the Walmart?
Oh, yeah.
That movie was so fucking depressing. The book was even more depressing. But, oh God, it was awful. But, yeah, I saw that movie in the theater.
In the theater?
In the theater.
Just one.
But it actually made me laugh because remember he had a hole in the floorboard of his car and she lost her flip-flops? That literally happened to me in high school because my boyfriend drove a 79 Buick LeSabre that had huge rusted holes in the floorboard so bad that I would sit with my feet crisscrossed in the seat because I was always secretly afraid that my feet would fall, like go through the holes. And I lost a pair of shoes down there one time.
Damn.
Yeah. That thing once hit a mailbox sunk in concrete and took the mailbox out.
Fucking tank.
It was a tank. I can't believe my parents ever let me out in that fucking beast of a car. I guess they figured I was safe enough. At least for the car.
Tetanus?
Yeah. Him?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm pretty much wrapped up with this stuff. I kind of want to get out there and start maybe putting in like a scary movie or something, because 'tis the season and all that jazz.
Yeah, we're gonna watch scary movies tonight.
We need to watch The Curse of La Llorona.
I don't know. There's a new Netflix movie called Eli that we caught the trailer for. That looks like it might be pretty good, but it might also be a shitty Netflix trailer that just had all the good stuff in the front. But
I hate it when they front load those movies.
it's scary because you're like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, and then you're like, this sucked. All the good shit was in the 5-minute trailer.
Bitches.
But
Bitches.
but I think you'll. Well, we'll let you watch the trailer and then we'll figure out what we want to watch.
We also have popcorn.
Oh fuck yeah!
Word.
Yeah, cool.
Got this. All right, so
Oh, I need my notebook. Where's my notebook? Aha. I also need eyeballs. I can't see.
Help if you put glasses on.
Oh, yeah. Something was missing. Oh, God, my glasses are so fucking dirty. I don't know if it'll help or not. Why is my face so oily?
why are there so many ostriches? There's so many ostriches.
Don't make me laugh. I have to pee.
Don't piss on the couch.
Then don't make me laugh. You're really just making this very difficult. I have had a very large child. My bladder control's not what it used to be.
She pretty much cleared out on the way out.
You've seen that kid's head. It was that big from birth.
It's a big ass head.
Her big old melon head. She inherited that from her dad.
She grew. That's the head she came out with. She grew into the goddamn thing.
She did. She's very beautiful, but head just
It took her years
huge.
to grow into her head. She was top heavy. She looked like a bobblehead till
she
she was
was
15.
kind of. She really kind of was. But she could lift her head up even in the hospital on the very first day. The nurses were very impressed by her neck strength.
Well, it's gotta be strong to hold
Right.
that head.
She was like one of those like one of those like weeble wobble things, because if you just let her alone, like her head would raise her body up and she'd be upside down, just balancing on her fucking head.
Wait, why do I have this? Oh yeah, we're talking about the
Social media, Martina.
Facebook is Books and Bullshit. You should know that by now. Instagram, Books and BS Podcast. You can find us on the Twitter at Books Bullshit P1. And on the TikTok. It makes me feel like
TikTok.
It makes me feel like Kesha. Books and BS Podcast on TikTok. And if you want to send us stories,
Redundant. Ow!
you're such an asshole. You didn't write down the Gmail, but it's booksandbspodcast@gmail.com. Please fucking send us these stories that you guys are clearly sitting on
These are
and just
great
hoarding
stories,
to
you
yourself,
selfish
like
bitches.
weird story dragons that just like want to hoard all their own fucking good stories.
Quit
Stop
hoarding
it,
stories, you whores.
you hosers.
You hosers.
Also, rate, review, subscribe. Please,
Rate.
please, 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 please rate with an emphasis on the T. Rate, please. Talk about the Patreon.
The Patreon.
This is me handing over the baton officially.
There's nothing on here that I need from this.
I know,
You
but it
hand
just
to
means
me
I'm
every
done.
time.
It means
It's
I'm
like
done.
a very symbolic gesture
Yes!
for you.
Just fucking do it.
All right.
Fucking whore out the Patreon.
If you guys love the content that you get, remember that right now this is just costing us money, so please go check out our Patreon. Help support the channel, the fucking podcast. I'm watching a lot of YouTube. Shut up.
And TikTok.
It'll help support everything that you guys like laughing at. There's
Why
tiers
do
as
both of you have your eyes closed?
I have a headache. There's tiers as low as, because I feel like Stevie Wonder right now. There's tiers as low as $1. Go check it out. Get some extra bonus stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay, please, for the love of God, Layla, let's end this shit show. Hit the
Bye.
button. Bye.